So, lads, today, again, we are going to be talking a little bit about Angel Reese. And it is one of those things when it comes to Angel that I actually have no issue with this happening. But we've got to talk about this in its totality. Like, Angel Reese, after having her best game in Unrivaled, her absolute best game in Unrivaled, she was brilliant. And if you say otherwise, you're just lying for the sake of lying. She outplayed Nafisa Collier, which no one has done up to this point in Unrivaled. No one has outplayed Nafisa Collier in an individual game since, I don't know, the regular season? Like, maybe people have, but like, maybe she's had a few quiet games. But very few people. It has been a long, long time until since she has been outplayed. And as badly as Angel Reese outplayed her and locked her down, that has not happened since the damn regular season. But after the game, Angel Reese was celebrating, did the Angel Reese thing. At least it wasn't, by the way, at least it wasn't to anybody, but it's the freaking taunting opponents. And I got no issue with it. Like, we love players. We love athletes a lot of the time that taunt. And if you guys don't know, when the Lunar Elves win games, like when they're doing well, they just shout out hooty hoo. And Angel Reese, after beating the Lunar Elves, comes off like doing their, like, almost like celebrating, making fun of them. And look, it's on brand for Angel Reese. Like, this is on brand for Angel Reese. Like, that's what she did. That is what she did. And look, I don't have an issue with it. And I actually don't. Like, I think you can celebrate and win sports in however you want. And the thing is, like, sports reward big characters. And as you can love Angel Reese or hate Angel Reese, but you have some feeling about her. Like, there are a lot more people that hate her or love her than are indifferent to her. And that's the thing with a lot of these athletes. Like, it's almost, for me, it's like a little bit similar enough to when I was talking, like, not quite the same, but like to a Conor McGregor type thing, where it's like, this is a man who the way he like had his trash talk game, just everything when it came to McGregor, like, was larger than life figure. And Angel Reese is, like, let's be real. She's taunting. She's taunting her opponents. And people are allowed to have an issue with that. And we can be honest here. People can have a problem. People can love what Angel Reese did. People can hate what Angel Reese did. Depending on how you view sports, you are allowed to have a problem with what Angel Reese did. And I mean that. You are allowed to have a problem with it. It's fine. You are not a racist for having a problem with bad sportsmanship. Angel Reese's sportsmanship is horrific. But if we look at pro sports, how many of the larger-than-life athletes did not have good sportsmanship? Anthony Edwards, Luka Doncic, like, if we're just talking about the current NBA, like, Anthony Edwards, Luka Doncic, and it's just, like, a lot. The one thing is, when it comes to Angel Reese, is that I don't think she's a bad person. I think she's doing almost anything she can to get clicks, to get relevancy, a lot of the celebrations, and it's working. Do you want to know why? Because it's got people talking about it. I have no issue with this. And, like, looking at this, the media made me a villain. This type of stuff is what made me a fan. This is what I mean. These are the two opposite things. Like, she is playing the role of a villain. I'm sorry. You cannot argue that she's not playing the role of a villain. If you are arguing that she is not playing the role of a damn villain, not playing up to the I'm a villain role, and then the only issue I have with it is that when it suits Angel Reese, when things are going well for her, like when she's playing well, when arguably she was outplaying Caitlin Clark to start the year, the Sky were definitely outplaying the Fever. She was all about, I'll be the villain. And then when things are going wrong, she complains about being the villain. Angel Reese, when I mean this. Angel, like, there are lines to be drawn. Like, once you cross into some of the crap that Angel Reese had to deal with, like the AI stuff being sent to her family, the racist stuff is so far. But she is literally playing the role of a villain. anytime she wins, she makes sure as hell to taunt. Like, she wins something big, she makes sure as hell to taunt her opponents while doing it. Like, that was her biggest win in an individual game since the championship game. That was huge. And it was her best game. It was a game where she was on the floor with the best player in the world, and she was the better player. Not a lot of people have been able to say that in the last year. She was the better player on the floor against the best player in the world. And if you want to say, oh, Age is the best player in the world, well then, Nafisa Collier, every time the two of them were on the floor against each other, Nafisa Collier outplayed her. But that's the thing where it's like, and these are two alternating viewpoints on a situation. Like, the media, like, as much as, even if you want to argue the media made Angel Reese a villain, you cannot say she's not trying, she's not playing up to it. Just like the crap Dylan Brooks does. Dylan Brooks, in his career, goes out of his way to make himself seem like the villain. Like, that's what Dylan Brooks does. He knows, okay, I'm going to be more relevant as the villain. People like me anyway. There are people that like me. Let me just play the villain, I can be relevant. And the thing with Angel Reese is, the more, like, I'm not joking, Angel Reese could literally, let's just say a hypothetical situation. If this happens in a game, Angel Reese backs down, outmuscles Caitlin Clark, scores a game winner. It would not be off-brand for Angel Reese to go over Caitlin Clark and start doing this again. Like, I genuinely had, I expected that to happen during the WNBA season. And I wouldn't mind it, because her fans would love that, and the people that hate her don't stop talking about her. And that's the thing where it's like, Angel Reese is very much on the hate me or love me, you're going to talk about me. And that's seemingly what she's buying into. The only thing is that when you do this, you cannot then go back and complain about being the villain. There's a big reason why I'm a fan. This is basketball. Exactly, it is basketball. But everyone is within their right. It's like men when they see Anthony Edwards talk trash or a face of the league, class as childish. No, I like Angel Reese doing it. But there are people that are going to dislike it, and that is fine. If she doesn't do nothing else, she's going to people hate her when she has a decent game. Like, and that's the thing, it's on brand. Like, you can play the villain. And people in sports, people like the villain. Angel Reese and Draymond have a lot of the same characteristics. Winners, high basketball IQ, villain. Yeah. And this is like her fans being like, she leans into the villain role. And that's fine. Like, I actually have no issue with a good shit talker. I have no issue with a good trash talker at all. And you can do that. It's their Super Bowl. I mean, it was their Super Bowl. But, like, you can do that. You can be a good trash talker. You can do this. But let's be real. Let's be real. There are people that are not going to like trash talk. Yes, I mean, you're somebody like, I don't like Anthony Edwards, but I actually don't mind Angel Reese. I don't find what Angel Reese does as insufferable as what Anthony Edwards does. I genuinely don't. Like, I actually think if I was like, just as a viewer, I think what Anthony Edwards does is way more annoying than what Angel Reese does. But she's playing the role of a villain. The only thing I have to say is, like, can we stop calling people racist for saying that she's the villain and being like, oh, the media portrayed her as the villain? No, even if the media initially did it, Angel Reese has done everything to wind up fan bases, wind up other teams, and that is fine. That is sports. There is no issue with it in the grand scheme of things. As an individual person, you are well within your rights to like or hate Angel Reese. If you don't like Angel Reese, that does not make you a racist. If you don't like Angel Reese because of her actions, that does not make you a racist. No matter what anyone tries to tell you. If you like Angel Reese, cool. I like Angel Reese. I like her as a player, and she's super effective, and I like what she does for the game. I like when things get a little bit chippy. I do. And, like, while it wasn't taunting as much, you saw how much that Chicago game meant with all the Barbie things when Caitlin Clark went out of her way when she walks off the floor at the end hyping the damn crowd in Chicago. Like, it's not the equivalent of the Hootie Hoo thing. It would be like Caitlin Clark coming out and calling herself Barbie after the game. But still, Like, I like good trash talk. I like good sports. And there's a reason why people root for people, and there's a reason why people root against people. For sports to be good, you've got to root for people and root against people. And I think a lot of people are rooting for Angel Reese, but a lot of people are rooting against her. And for the at best case scenario next season, the 14th best player in the WNBA, to still at this point in time have as many people rooting either for or against her, she knows how to freaking market herself in terms of getting eyes on her. But at this stage, she's made her bed. She has made her bed. Her actions have put her into the playing the villain role. Whether you believe that's actually her, or whether you think it's playing a role, I think it's the latter. I think she's just playing into a role. But she's played the villain role. She is, while a lot of fans are going to be even more on her side, she's pissed off a lot of people too with her actions, and that's fine. That's sports. Sports are best when they make, there's some emotions there. When there's some emotions from you watching sports. And when it comes to individuals, it is better that you hate a player for the grand scheme of sport than being different. Obviously, as long as you are not crossing a line. And by the way, tweeting that you hate Angel Reese is not crossing a line. Tweeting obviously racist shit that happened with her family, like obviously that's so far past the line. The line's a dot. But we gotta be honest here. Saying Angel Reese I don't like Angel Reese because she has bad sportsmanship is a completely true statement. Not even the you don't like it, but like that Angel Reese's sportsmanship on the court is poor. Like, especially when winning. Or maybe anything. She's not a gracious winner. That is a fact for Angel Reese. She is not a gracious winner. When she won the championship, after all this thing, she literally had the trophy in her hand and goes, "This is for you, Caitlin Clark," at the end of the game. She is the least gracious winner in the history of sport. Sorry, not in history of sport. Jesus, that's so exaggerating. She is a extremely ungracious winner, and there are so many of them in sports. That's what I meant to say. She is not a gracious winner, but there are so many non-gracious winners in sports. So, yeah, it's not a big deal.